After over a decade of yo-yoing and collecting, I'm finally going to show you my entire collection. How many yo-yos do I own and what's the total value of it all? Along the way, I'll show you some rare one-of-a-kind ones as well as yo-yos with unforgettable stories. This video took a ton of effort to put together, so let's dive in. Starting with our main yo-yo wall, which consists of 8 rows, each with 14 yo-yos. We got a lot of yo-yos here. Our top row is going to have all of my signature yo-yos. So we got the Spotlight, Spotlight Ultra, and the Moonlight. This right here is the yo-yo I used to get my very first podium finish at the US National Yo-Yo Contest back in 2022. And I haven't used this in a while because it was actually my very first signature yo-yo, the Spotlight. But let's just do a little quick trick with it. Check that out. Then we have the Spotlight Ultra, which is the one that I used to get 4 contest wins in a row back in 2023. This is the one where I really started leveling up my yo-yo game. And of course, we also have the Moonlight, which is the bimetal version of the Spotlight yo-yo. I used this to win the Pacific Northwest Regional Yo-Yo Contest in 2024. We also have the rarest colorway of the Moonlight, which is this podium edition, the silver with the gold center. And I believe there are only 5 of these in the world, and I currently have 2 of those 5. So that concludes our first row of the main yo-yo wall. After counting up my signature yo-yos in row 1, we're at a total of 14 yo-yos and a total value of $885. And going on to the second row and down, we have a lot of both plastic and metal yo-yos around here. I'm going to go through them real quickly, and then we'll go head over to my locked yo-yo cases where we got a lot of the rare and very expensive yo-yos. Row 2 adds another 14 yo-yos and another $637, bringing our totals up to 28 yo-yos and a total value of $1,522. One yo-yo in the third row we have is this looping yo-yo right here. If you don't know what a looping yo-yo is, basically you can do looping tricks with it, which looks something like this. As you can see, I'm not very good at it, but that's because this is by far the hardest style in the world of yo-yo. In the competitive world, there are few dominant forces who have always been ahead of the time, such as Takuma Yamamoto with 4 world champion titles, Shu Takada, who you may have seen on America's Got Talent with 6 titles, and finally, the one who many consider the GOAT of competitive yo-yoing, Shinji Saito, with 13 World Yo-Yo Contest wins. Wow. These ones right here bring us up to 42 yo-yos, $2,179. This one right here is a pretty unique yo-yo because it's made of 2 different materials. This is called a hybrid yo-yo. It has a plastic body as well as metal rims and a metal spot in the center for doing finger spin tricks, like the DNA. A lot of these yo-yos I don't use that often, so let me just put a string on it real quick. While playing with this, I actually forgot how fun it is. And here's one that might actually be the coolest colorway of any yo-yo in my collection. Check that out. Now row 4 of course adds another 14 yo-yos and another $601, bringing our new totals up to 56 total yo-yos and $2,780. I'm going to quickly go through the rest of this part of the collection and then give you the grand total for the main yo-yo wall. Towards the bottom of our yo-yo wall, we got these M&M yo-yos right here. I got these from Doc Lucky. If you don't know who that is, he has the Guinness World Record for the world's largest yo-yo collection. If you ever get a chance to see his collection, it is amazing. Back in 2023, I actually had a chance to go check it out, and I'll link that video below. But here's a little clip to show you some of the crazy stuff that he owns.
And you know, you got your hairy yo-yos, yo-yos that blow bubbles, yo-yos that you can make ice cream with.
This yo-yo is definitely unique, but first, in total, our main yo-yo wall brings us up to 112 yo-yos and $5,273. But that is only a fraction of this collection. And later in this video, you'll see some of the most rare and unique yo-yos in the entire world. Now, before we get to the locked yo-yo cases with tons of rare yo-yos, let's check out some of the awards that I've won from Yo-Yo. And now heading over to the first locked case. Wait, what's that? We got this bulletin board with all sorts of things yo-yo. We got all these competitor badges from over 50 contests that I've competed at since I started yo-yoing, programs and pins, and then there's this. We'll get back to that later in this video, but hint, it's from Arby's and they sent me some very interesting apparel. Now getting into locked case number 1. Up in the very top left of this display is the very first yo-yo I ever got in my collection. This is the Fast 201 yo-yo. I won't go through every yo-yo on this wall, but there is one I really want to touch on. Yo-yo is more than just a hobby. I've met lots of my best friends through yo-yo, and the reason I wanted to show you this yo-yo is it has my friend Justin on it. Everyone talks about the yo-yo craze in the 90s. This one is actually from 1986. Here's one from one of the times I won the Arizona State Yo-Yo contest, and another one hand-painted by yo-yo performer and artist John Higbee, aka the Yo-Yo guy. John Higbee is an absolute legend in the yo-yo world. He's performed his comedy yo-yo show in 26 countries, holds a world champion title in the arts and performance division, and has racked up 4 Guinness World Records. His act is packed with tricks, a unicycle, and even a giant yo-yo he balances on. And years ago, I actually had a chance to perform in one of his shows. Check this out.
He's too good! Yeah! Nice! Give it up for him!
The only clear yo-yo in my entire collection. And here's one of 3 yo-yos I have in my collection made out of titanium. And later in this video, I'll take you outside and show you something that only these yo-yos can do. A couple rows into locked yo-yo case 1 now, and we're at 128 yo-yos with the total collection value so far at $6,448. This next one has a very cool story behind it. Where did that go? Did it go back here? Yes. All right, the yo-yo's back here. Okay. Anyways, back to the story about this yo-yo. Flashback to 5 years ago when I saw this video of an orangutan making an awesome reaction to a magic trick on YouTube. So naturally I did some research and headed straight for the closest zoo to see them myself. I was casually yo-yoing while walking around the zoo when I noticed a baby orangutan named Jiwa was watching me. He seemed really intrigued, so I went up closer. Then this happened. I showed him another trick and he did this.
Oh my god! Wow.
So I made these yo-yos to remember the occasion. Another expensive row brings us up to 136 yo-yos, and bringing our value over $7,000 at $7,093. Any guesses on the total number of yo-yos or value of my collection yet? Let me know in the comments. Remember the yo-yo I got earlier from John Higbee? Well, this is a yo-yo I got from another yo-yo performer, Justin Weber. Back in 2015, I got to see him perform live, and his show was awesome. Afterward, I got to meet him, and he signed one of my yo-yos for me. It's such a cool piece of my collection and a great reminder of how entertaining his performance was. And this goes with the letter I showed you a little bit earlier. A while back, Arby's came across my yo-yo videos and sent me a surprise care package filled with their merch and some gift cards. Of course, that was such an unexpected gesture, and I knew I wanted to return the favor in my own way. So I customized a few yo-yos with the Arby's logo and sent them back to their headquarters as a thank you. It felt like the perfect way to combine my passion for yo-yos with their support. One of the cooler yo-yos in my collection is this one. The oldest yo-yo I own is a true piece of history, a sterling silver yo-yo made by the Gorham Manufacturing Company in the 1970s. Unlike modern yo-yos, it has flat sides and an intricate pattern covering its shell. Original versions of this yo-yo are extremely rare, so of course having one in my collection feels really special. It's not something I would use for tricks, as you can see here, but it definitely is great as a display piece. Oh boy, we're getting into some big numbers now. 144 yo-yos, $7,688. This yo-yo was given to me when we attempted to break the Guinness World Record for the most people yo-yoing at once. When I was in Cleveland, Ohio for the 2016 World Yo-Yo Contest, there was an incredible event happening at the park right outside the venue. They were attempting to break the Guinness World Record for the most people yo-yoing at once. The organizers handed out yo-yos to everyone who entered the park, making it easy for everyone to join in on the fun, even if they weren't already yo-yoers. There was such a great vibe as hundreds of us all started yo-yoing together, trying to set the record. This one's for the soda lovers out there. Anyone watching like Mountain Dew? This is one of my favorite yo-yos, and here's why. The very first yo-yo contest I ever entered was a local event in my hometown. I was just an 8-year-old kid, and honestly, I wasn't really expecting much. Then, something amazing happened. I won? The prize was a brand new 8-8 yo-yo, which was a big deal because that was my first metal yo-yo. At the time it was valued at $130, which was a pretty significant amount of money for a young yo-yo enthusiast like me. The 8-8 quickly became my go-to yo-yo, and all those dings on it were from when I was starting out, learning and hitting the yo-yo on the ground a lot. Each scratch on the yo-yo is a reminder of the challenges I faced and overcame during those early days. And that yo-yo truly inspired me to keep improving. And who knows, maybe it's one of the reasons I'm still yo-yoing 11 years later. In total, locked yo-yo case number 1 has 64 yo-yos with a total of $4,276, meaning our new total count of yo-yos is 176 with a total value of $9,549. Wait, before we get into the rarest and most expensive yo-yos in my second locked case, I'm going to show you a few others first. Here we got a few more cheap yo-yos. And the final one in this row is one of the rarest yo-yos I own. We also got some yo-yo string, kendamas, bearings, a drone, and even a lifetime supply of yo-yo gloves. Closet Shelf 1 gives us an additional 13 yo-yos and an extra $616, bringing us up to 189 yo-yos and $10,165. Now on to shelf number 2, here's one of the first yo-yos I got. Some other random yo-yos I have. And even this yo-yo ball, which I've only used like one time. I also have this tiny 3D printed one, which I really don't know how to put together. Shelf 2 has 29 more yo-yos and $1,397 more dollars, bringing us up to a total count of 218 yo-yos, $11,562. Down to shelf number 3. This is what I like to call my yo-yo bearing graveyard. The most expensive plastic yo-yo I own. We got multiple other broken yo-yos on this shelf, as well as my favorite off-string yo-yos in the world. I was gifted this fan by World Yo-Yo Champion Mir Kim's mom, so that's pretty cool. And that concludes our first yo-yo closet. Shelf 3 has 27 yo-yos and an estimated value of $1,375, bringing us to our new totals, 245 yo-yos. $12,937? But we have even more yo-yos in Yo-Yo Closet 2. And what's behind this door? Me! This is where I store my off-string yo-yos, including my Diablos, and this is the biggest one that I own. Over here we got some Snapchat Crocs, as well as the exclusive Arby's Meat Sweats. Now I know what you're thinking, Hunter, you should put that on and do a trick. No way you're gonna get me to wear that. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. That was so awkward. The offstring closet brings us up to a total count of 273 yo-yos and $13,467. And we have even more yo-yos downstairs. Let's go. More Diablos, another mini yo-yo, another off-string yo-yo. You thought we were done, but we still have more. These ones I use almost on a daily basis. Can't forget this one. I used this to get top 3 at the 2024 World Yo-Yo Contest. Oh, almost forgot about this one. I was just playing with this in the backyard earlier. Now adding in the 12 yo-yos from downstairs, we're at 285 yo-yos, $14,253. Back in my yo-yo room now and heading over to my desk. Over here we have the yo-yo I use most often, my Starlight, as well as the world's cheapest yo-yo at just $1, the Intro Pack, which you can get at hunteryoyos.com, some other small training yo-yos, and the best beginner DNA yo-yo. And now we get into my case, complete with 6 more yo-yos. Now up above me we have some pretty rare stuff. Like this. Another light up one which out of the box looks like this. A Japanese Coca-Cola yo-yo. Another old one. And another titanium yo-yo. Including all the ones at my desk and the shelf next to my desk, we're at 309 yo-yos, $15,636. But we still have a lot left. And now finally, our second locked yo-yo case. Each row has 8 yo-yos and row number 1 has an estimated value of $425. And now we have our third and final titanium yo-yo in my collection. Let's do a trick with it. Before we move on to the final parts of my collection, we're going to attempt a risky challenge with all 3 of my titanium yo-yos. Let's see if we can juggle over $1,000 worth of yo-yos for 30 seconds without dropping. And if I drop even one, it's a $350 mistake. But let's try anyway. Timer starts now. Starting off strong. I noticed these are a little bit harder to catch than normal juggling balls, so hopefully that isn't a problem here. I noticed the strings are untangling. This could also be a big problem. It's really getting difficult now. Oh, almost missed. Oh my gosh. How much time do we have left? I don't know. Oh, I was just kidding. Titanium yo-yos are super durable anyway. Row 2, $775. This one right here has a really cool story. While visiting Bali, Indonesia last year, I had an incredible tour guide who went above and beyond to make the trip special. She noticed how much I loved yo-yos and, as a gift, she gave me this beautiful hand-painted yo-yo as a souvenir. The design captures the vibrant culture of Bali and it's one of the most unique yo-yos in my collection. It was super thoughtful and every time I see it, I'm reminded of that unforgettable trip. Rows 3 and 4 have values of $395 and $560. Now we have some of the most rare yo-yos in the entire world. This one is a prototype of my very first signature yo-yo, the Spotlight. I believe there are only 3 or 4 of these in the world. And now, the most rare yo-yo in my entire collection. I'm the only one in the world that has this. There's literally only one of these. Now you may be asking, what yo-yo is that? This is the prototype of the Moonlight yo-yo. Then row 5 has the highest value in locked case number 2 at $845. Next up we have these signed gold yo-yos. Anyone recognize these signatures? Row 6 adds $315. Row 7 $249. In row 8, another $220. This means locked case number 2 adds 64 yo-yos and $3,784 to the collection, bringing our totals to 373 yo-yos, $19,420. Thank you so much for checking out my yo-yo collection. I've shared almost all the ones I own now, but there's still 16 yo-yos I haven't revealed yet. I'll be showcasing those in a future video, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the video showing the last 16 yo-yos. Altogether, including those, my collection totals 389 yo-yos with an estimated value of $24,625.